Hello everybody, my name is Brenda Ellis. I'm doing something new today. I decided to try to do some designs on a tumbler today on camera. My name is Brenda Ellis. I'm definitely not photogenic and end up looking like a sumo wrestler on video or camera, so I usually avoid them with everything I have. But we're going to go out of our comfort zone and see how this goes. Anyhow, a little background story about me is I graduated college last year. After going to college and working full-time for 4 years, becomes a lifestyle. Well, I ended up having an identity crisis once I graduated. I had a lot going on with my change of positions at work, the graduation, trying to figure out who I am, la la la, and I was having a real hard time. So I had been watching some videos about dot art. And for those of you who aren't familiar with that, I'll show you some of the work I did maybe after I'm done with this. Anyhow, that seemed to help calm me down. It kind of turned into a little bit of therapy for me. Then I started just trying new things, watching different videos. I watched a lot of Mixed Media Girl, and she got me inspired into doing pouring art, I don't know how you call it, and tumblers. Then I started watching more videos of other artists such as Danya Rinsky, Olga Sobi, and it just kind of got me more excited about it. Anyhow, so that's why I started doing what I'm doing. I do a lot of work on rocks as well, and again, I'll show you that in a little bit when I'm done here. But for this tumbler, what we're going to be doing is we're using a resin coat. I'm putting the clear coat on it now. We're doing a resin coat with 3 shades. Of course, it's going to be purple, more like a lavender color, and then a white pearl color. I'm thinking about adding a little bit of glitter in the mix with the purple. I haven't quite decided yet. But we'll see as we go. Anyhow, I've got my base coat down. Now I'm just going to be mixing my colors. And basically all you do is scoop in a little bit of pigment and then you stir. You don't want to use too much pigment because you don't want your epoxy to thicken up and get all clumpy on you. Basically, I use a popsicle stick, and I just use a tip scoop of the pigment. And you just, for me, I want to make sure that it's more opaque. And this seems to be opaque, so I don't need to add any more. And I should be wearing gloves with this stuff because this stuff is messy. And not only is it messy, but it heats up. And I don't want any burns today. I've never been burned before, but with epoxy, but I've heard other artists talk about it, and it really does not seem like that is very much fun. So now I'm going to be working with the lighter color, which is the lavender color. If I can get it open now that I got my gloves on. Yeah, I'm gonna have to take my glove off. There we go. And again, I'm just gonna take the tip, scoop out a little bit, and add it to my mixture. Mix it up, and that is a beautiful color. Sorry about the lighting, everybody. I'm doing this at my dining room table as I don't have a little art studio. This is my new art area. Figure since my kids are grown and moved away, my husband's a truck driver and hardly ever home, so the table does not really get used. So it's my new art studio. Now let's work with the white. Even though it's got a white background, I kind of want a little bit of white in the mix to make some swirls if I need it a little bit later, if the white background of the cup doesn't help break up the purples. So to prepare the cup, I lightly sanded it. I want to say it was a 220 grit, just very lightly sanded. I washed it with Dawn soap and water, let it dry, wiped it down with alcohol to get any grease, any extra sealant that may be on it off. I spray painted it white, let it dry, and then just now added the clear coat of epoxy as the bottom layer. So I have all of my 3 colors ready. And I don't think I'm going to use the purple. I may use the purple glitter. But basically what we're going to do is we just start stringing it across the cup. And gravity will do its job as the cup turner turns, spreading all of these colors around. I say all of these colors, but there's only 3 colors. I'm going to switch up colors and put this one towards the bottom. Then I'll do a few in here of this other color. And then some of the darker one towards the bottom as well. Now epoxy gets a lot of bubbles. So before it gets too thick, before you put too much epoxy, and to get the colors kind of moving a little bit to see how much more epoxy, how much more colorant you need, I have a kitchen torch, and without touching the flame to the cup, I just wave it over the top of the colors. It not only pops the bubbles, but it loosens up the epoxy so that it'll dance around a little bit on your cup. See, and if you can see, it's The colors are kind of starting to spread out a little bit more now, which is what we want. Be sure to do your bottom. I forgot to add some color to the bottom. Let's get that in there. For this cup, I really don't want a lot. I don't want it like in your face purple, like solid. I want it broken up. But I also don't want it to look naked. I want it to look exciting. I love these colors. Not going to do too much more on the... Actually, I may do more, do whatever I can with the purples, and then because I can always go in with the white pearl color to break it up, which I think will be very pretty. Recently, I've been watching videos on YouTube. I can't remember their names, but it's the butterfly glitters. I actually just purchased a cup from them. I'm real excited to get it back. It's real a springy color. If you have a chance, go check her out. She's a lot of fun. I love her and her husband's dynamic. They work together as a team. But I've been watching her and getting different ideas for different ways to decorate the cups. You can find Rinsky Downya, Olga Sobi, Mixed Media Girl, all on YouTube. You can find their videos. And they're awesome. They're awesome teachers. Now, Rinsky Downya and Olga Sobi, they're into pour art on canvas. They don't do cups. But I've been inspired by them and been trying to do some pour art on canvases, trying to kind of learn how to do it. It's not as easy as it looks, but it is a lot of fun. I just made my grandson a canvas. He wanted blue and orange. I added a little bit of white so it kind of looks red, white, and blue, so I don't know that I'm too happy with it, but it is kind of cute. It was my first successful Dutch pour. I'm going to get rid of some of these bubbles that I'm seeing real quick before I put the white pearl on there. This is looking very beautiful, guys. I don't think it's going to need that glitter at all. These pigments that I'm using have a lot of shine in it anyway. So it gives it the pop that it needs, that glitter would have given it. So I'm going to let this turn for a little bit before I decide if I need to put some pearl in there to kind of break it up. But I think I'm going to put pearl in there anyway, just because it's a pearl and it's beautiful. But I'm going to let this turn a little bit to kind of get its shape, kind of get its design going. And then once these spread out a little bit more, we'll know where we want to put the white in. I'm going to turn the turner off and restart it so it'll go the other way. That way it'll reverse directions so that it'll start making it a swirl mark. But I'm going to tilt it a little bit to kind of get it off the line it's on. That way when it goes back, it'll have that curved motion when it starts turning the other way. So we'll do this for a second. And now I don't have a whole lot of epoxy on here, so it may not do what I think it is, what I want it to do. But if that's the case, all I have to do is hit it with a heat gun and really loosen up the epoxy to kind of swirl it around. The only thing is I don't want to mix my colors too much. And the more you heat it, the more your colors mix. And I kind of like it the way it is now. So I think I don't think I'm going to heat it up anymore other than what's needed to get out the air bubbles. Get rid of all of this, the little bit that I have left in the cups. Anyhow, while we're waiting for this to do its thing, the other day I was doing another tumbler, which didn't come out very well. I'm not really happy with it. It's just really dark. That's not the effect that I wanted. But if you look at it like really close, you know, I just got a pop-up on my phone about Molly's Artistry. Molly is another one. Molly's Artistry. She's another one that I watch. She does some amazing work. But anyhow, back to this. It's pretty cool. Kind of mystic a little bit. It's just too dark. I wanted a lighter shade. But it is what it is. I did this one the other day. I love this one. So this one I painted with acrylic and then covered it. It's a split design. So I had the dark blue on the bottom, the light blue on the top. I mixed several colors to make the design in the center. We have reds, golds, greens, blues, whites. It looks like there may be a little yellow, or that could be the gold. Anyhow, I swirled that around a little bit with the straw, a little bit with a toothpick to kind of get the wispies. And then the outer layer of epoxy that I coated it with to protect it, I added a little bit of blue tint. So it kind of looks a little blue cloudy up, especially up on the top, more blue than it was like a light blue turquoise color up here. It gives it like different shades. It's really beautiful. This is another acrylic pour. This one I did for my oldest grandson. He wanted red, green, and yellow. I'm not fond of those colors together, so I used gold. Excuse me. But I think that came out really good. It looks really sophisticated, actually. So I hope he likes that. As I was pouring the acrylic on this one to make, or I let the drippings off of the cup land on a canvas. And let me show you the results for that. This is the 12 by 12 canvas that I got from that runoff. And then I added the design in the center because it was just too dark, especially for a 16-year-old. When I did the cup, when I did the split color cup, this one, I caught all the runoff. Or actually, I didn't catch the runoff, but I used the same colors to do another blowout. Another acrylic pour, which is this one. It's beautiful. I didn't use the blue epoxy coating on top. I left it clear because I just love this one. I don't know if you can see it with the glare. I'm sorry about the glare. And then another one, I was just messing around with a bunch of leftover paints and decided to do a pour on my rock. Normally on my rocks I have some sort of a pattern. This one I just wanted to kind of just dump colors. So this one has whites, blues, greens, yellows. I think there's a little bit of black, some purple. But I like it. It'll go good in my yard. So here we are back on the cup in question, and it's beautiful. These colors have spread out very beautiful. However, actually, let me see if I can give you a little bit of a more close-up on it. Oops. It's still hard to see with that glare of the lights. If you can tell, I'm terrible at videos. Okay, so now we're at this stage, and I do think I want to go ahead and add my pearl in there now, my white pearl. So I'm just going to drag it across. Break up some of that purple. Get some pearl white in there. Now, for these tumblers, this is a 20-ounce tumbler. It only takes about 10 mLs to coat per layer to coat your cup. So the first layer I did, the clear coat, was 10 mLs. These pigments were a little bit less than 10 mLs each, because I'm not essentially coating the whole cup. And then once this dries, if needed, I can also put a protective layer of epoxy over the top, the final coat, if this one seems to be more delicate. And you'll see what I'm talking. If you ever make them, you'll understand what I mean by delicate. I don't want to hit, I just don't want the color to be able to get chipped or anything like that. Also, the additional layer of coating adds a very good protective UV layer on it, a UV protection layer on it. So yeah, I think I'm going to put the third coat on there. Anyhow, so these are the colors we have now. I'm still kind of arguing with myself, and usually when I do that, I end up regretting it if I do it. So I'm going to put this glitter away before I get too tempted, because I get tempted and then things go awry and I end up with a cup like this. Ugliest thing in the world. Ugliest thing in the world. I'm going to have to strip that one later. That one I made to go with my grandson's painting, which is this one, the one who wanted the orange, red, and blue. I'm going to do a coat. Once it's completely dry, I'm going to coat it with epoxy. That way those colors will pop. And then this is his blue and orange cup that I'm working on now. It's just basic. I didn't do anything exciting with it. At this point, this is the acrylic that's drying on it. That's acrylic paint that's drying on it. When it dries, I'll go over it with epoxy, and I may add some lighter colors in there just to kind of break up that orange and blue. But he's a kid and he said orange and blue, so he likes orange and blue. I don't want to mess that up too much for him, like I did this other painting that ends up looking like a 4th of July painting. But I'm waiting to find out if he likes that one. Otherwise, I'll make him a whole new painting. I'm trying to make all of my grandkids and my kids something nice, something that they can take with them when I'm gone, or something that they can throw away if they don't like it. This is just my hobby. It's not anything that's doing anything for me. I wouldn't mind selling some of this stuff so that I can make some extra money to pay for my hobby, but we will see. I need to figure out how to get, if I'm going to sell anything, I need to figure out how to get Facebook and Yahoo or YouTube set up to accept payment and to be able to sell. I'm very bad with computer stuff, so it's going to take me a while to figure it out. Anyhow, I love this. I love how this is coming out. That pearl white is going to spread a little bit more. I just fired out the bubbles, but I think I'm going to give this a few more minutes, and if that white pearl doesn't split up any more than it is now, then I may go over it with a heat gun to really loosen it up. But in the meantime, I want to show you what I do with my rocks. And I'm going to put the video on pause real quick while I walk outside. Are you going to paint rocks?
No, I'm going to go get my latest one. I kind of like it a lot.
My neighbor's outside. She wants to show me some of her artwork. But those were the rocks that I keep outside. I didn't want to talk on video because I didn't want to seem like the neighbor who talks to herself. Anyhow, give me just 1 minute while I go look at her painting that she just did. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, she wanted to show me some pieces that she does. And then we talked about some craft fairs that are coming up. She was telling me that I should get a table and try to sell some of my stuff. I might do it. Also, she's asking me to teach a class. I don't know that I'm ready to teach a class. We'll see how this video goes, but I use words like thingy and that and a mess and clumps. I don't use like artist terms. I don't know. I just do it. Anyhow, back to this. So it looks like this is how it's gonna be. There may be a little bit more shifting a little bit later, but man, I really love this. It's not too much like this one. I was trying to get that effect with this one that I showed you earlier, with the lighter color, with a little bit lighter of a color, lighter tones of those colors, but it didn't work out for me. But this one came out perfect. This one came out exactly the way I wanted it. And this one's going to be mine. I've made cups for everybody just about. This one's mine. I don't think I want to put this one in the craft fair. But I do think I'm going to heat it up just a little bit, because I do see some places where the white pearl is kind of just staying in one spot. So I'm grabbing my heat gun. I'm going to put it on low. It's going to be noisy, but I'm going to put it on low, and I'm going to heat this up for just a little bit. Actually, I'm going to put it on high. This will also help get rid of any heat bubbles that may, or any bubbles that may have arose since the last time I heated it up. Now the working time with this epoxy is about 45 minutes. You can heat it up to kind of get it to do what you want to do, but the more heat you add to it, the quicker it sets. So But the set time on this is about 24 hours. It'll still be tacky. It won't be fully cured for about 7 days, I want to say, after the epoxy, after your last coat of epoxy. So I heated that up and it's swirling very nicely now. Now I'm gonna turn it, make it rotate the other way. Just to kind of reverse that, the action going this way so that I can get those curved swirly motions going. And that's about it. That's how I do my tumblers. Let me show you up close. If I can do this. This is gorgeous. I think I need to put it this way though for you guys to see it. Sorry for all the camera motion. If I decide to continue these videos, I'll try to get a better setup. But this is absolutely gorgeous. Anyhow, again, my name is Brenda Ellis. If you did enjoy what I did, like the video. If I get enough likes, maybe I'll continue these videos. Anyhow, you guys have a good weekend. Talk to you later.